everybody, and for our session today, Wednesday 20, May 20. Actually, I'm gonna share first with you our agenda for today. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so you can see my screen now. Yeah. Okay, first of all, we'll start with the introduction and get to know each other. Actually, we have an interesting topic today with Mark Jlailaty. We will spotlight on the importance of CRM solution and the challenges that the company faces in order to adapt to this new type of solutions. So this is our main topic for today. And we will end the session with the Q&A if you have any questions, so we are ready to answer. Actually, I'm gonna start my part, and nowadays it's hard to imagine our life without the contacts app on our phone. Phone numbers are hard enough to remember, let alone the email and mailing addresses for everyone you know. So we outsource to our phones, letting them remember everyone's contact info. So all we have to do is say, Siri, call Mark, call Lama, or so you need even more help with our business contacts and our address book app. Is it enough? In addition to names, phone numbers, and addresses, you need to track the products people are interested in, what services they've purchased from your company, the company they work for, and much more. So it would be our pleasure for today to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Mark Jlailaty, the founder and the head of business development at the Joint Media House, a Pipedrive CRM expert, partner, and a trainer. He's a marketing expert and a Chatbot Builder with more than 12 years of experience to spotlight on the importance of CRM and the challenges the company faces in order to adapt to these solutions. So welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Sina. Thank you for this introduction.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mark. وبدي أقول ويلكم لكل الجاست اللي معنا واللي بحب يحكي معنا. ويلكم لما وغسان and all the rest. إذا اللي بحب حدا يحكي في كان he can unmute لأنه نحن جايين نحكي أكيد مش it's not a webinar.
Hello Muhammad. Hello guys. Hello all of you.
Hello David.
Hello David.
Glad
Hello
to see you
Najwa.
again.
I'm connected today from I'm at the beach, so
yeah, enjoy. But you are not missing any session, man.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm trying my best to get the most of the experience and to get most of the knowledge.
Stay safe. قبل فيكم بعده بالبحر.
ايه اكيد كل واحد في بيناتنا around 1 kilometers apart.
كل واحد بول. مارك تفضل. بدي اعذبك سوري قطشتك بس
It's okay.
It's your call man. شو
حتى نكون بس لانه نكون عم نحكي على عده ستاف anybody اللي بده يفوت على الكونفرسيشن بس يعمل ريز هاند حتى ننتبه عليه ونقدر نقوم انه نرد عليه. So today, as we know, our most discussion هتكون about CRM. I want to talk about my experience. How did I start with CRM?
Yes.
CRM for me actually came in 2015, 2016. I was starting my company as Joint Media House in 2014. We were always like working on much less on pen and paper and more on Excel. And this I came to for a later stage. I لاحظت إنه everybody is using Excel. But one of the problems كان عنا إياها بوقتها إنه we have nothing that reminds us what to do, what we need to do, what we need to follow up on. So that started our search in 2016, searching for a solution. Definitely it was something in the CRM base because the scalable company was small. We wanted something to start with. That's why we didn't think of an ERP as start. بلشنا CRM. So we search on a different perspective, different specifications, benefits to choose the CRM that we wanted. just to be clear, I'm a Pipedrive CRM trainer. We use Pipedrive since 2016. Pipedrive was our من بعد ما جربنا عدة systems لقينا انه we needed something to remind us what to do. So we ركزنا على شيء اسمه activity based CRM, and which the solution was Pipedrive. Pipedrive هو أصلا started from 2012, but it kept developing on every year, and even it's a web-based CRM. It's not open source, but the company is always developing. They are in their third round of investment, so they're bringing a lot of knowledge to the CRM itself. The idea started because they are the owners. They are salespeople, and they were always having problem with the CRM, the other CRM that were available. So they brought Pipedrive at first to serve them, and they were seeing what was the problem in the other CRMs, and they wanted to change it. So, and one of the problems was this, the primary.
So Mark, just can you let us, what does the CRM do for a company? What does the CRM do actually for your company? Can you let us know?
Yes, I will let you know. I just wanted to highlight one last point. So when they started, it was a CRM from salespeople for salespeople at start, and then they started to developing. So that idea, we adapted it in 2016, and we wanted to go into the technology. Once we started doing that, a lot of things change, which we will discuss in this meeting. Sinar, you were asking me, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What does the CRM do for a company, actually? What is the benefits of CRM?
Okay. Whenever you start,
we need your touch, Marco. أنت برأيك إنه what is CRM? يعني why do they need? Why the people here also attending know the CRM, the importance of CRM for a company?
Yes. The importance of a CRM is once you start gathering between technology and people. CRM, it's the first step to take whenever you're working on your data. And this is very important in every company to use it. Till nowadays, even small companies or like, and I see like 80% of the companies first in Lebanon, on Lebanon scale, they don't adapt a CRM. Even nonetheless, they know the word, but they don't know how they function. And and even nonetheless, it's the technology they have a problem with. So having a CRM gives you different steps. And Hone, we will arrive to an idea that you have three kinds of CRM, which is operational, analytical, and collaborative. Okay. So when we're talking about Pipedrive, it has all those three.
Okay, so Anna, for what for me, when I started the notion of CRM, it was the customer relationship management. This is where they started. It was like what is the solution is managing the relationship with customer. And usually relationship are built between a human to human. So the fact of the management is this is where you can log or you can manage properly how you want to have this relationship with customer. If it's going to be, it's a one-shot sales and bye-bye my customer, or it's going to be like build the relationship and rely on understanding the behavior and understanding how the customer is satisfied or not, the case management. So it was for me like surprisingly important, and I see that this is one of the best solution in the market, because this is the only solution targeting my customer, and everybody knows that the money come from the customer usually. So you need to
100%.
have something for the customer. Later on, I think we're going to discuss the CRM. It took another way of solving this problem. It start to cover all the relationship, anybody. It's like contact relationship more for a supplier, for anybody else. ما بعرف هون لما فيها can you add for us as a company when you heard about CRM وهون بيجي بس ناخذ كمان حتى رأي مارك بالموضوع كيف صارت داخل بس انه when you were implementing ERP, did you and it took into consideration the CRM? Did you know that there was something that you need that it was as important as ERP in that time when you implemented or you
صراحة محمد, it's يعني now I wasn't really very well aware of CRM. I just did a very quick research on it, but it depends on the company. For example, in our company, it's an engineering company, and when you have the owners that they know and they manage, they have people who are specialized talking with the suppliers, for example, because their main contact is the suppliers, and the other contacts are their own PRs. For example, the owners of the company with which they work. It's not really a sales thing. So it's the type of the work didn't really require, I believe, CRM. This is why they didn't focus on it. Their main focus was finance and accounting and mainly engineering projects. That was the main focus. But for me now, what I'm listening to, it's really interesting to bring in CRM for all kinds of companies. But I wanted to ask Mark something. You were talking about CRM as if it manages all kinds of relationships. Does it help you put the rules of how you manage each kind of relationship? For example, let's say suppliers are different, let's say customers are different. Who puts the rule, and is it something that it is you can program, or I'm not sure about
as a workflow maybe?
How do you set up the rules for managing these relationships in a CRM? And that's very interesting.
Actually, what you mentioned is important, لأنه whenever you're setting up as a trainer in this, whenever you're setting it as a CRM strategy, you have to go into different point how you're gonna discuss with your clients. And it's important لأنه the CRM itself help to structure this discussion. And in every stage, people think that we talked, we finalized this, and then we move to a sale. It's a different stages, and sometimes it's between 5 or 7 stages before closing and starting. So as a company, it's very important to manage everything on it. Like based on what you mentioned, you work with a engineering company. A lot of companies that I work for don't use the CRM for sales. It's just for the activity to follow up what they're doing on every stage of their relationship, either with their clients or internally. So the stages are very important, especially whenever we're structuring this strategy for their CRM, or you can say it at the customer journey that they want to take the clients with.
So it's mainly about defining the activities that you have with the other parties,
yes,
and what kind of activities, and what is, for example, the occurrence of them, what is, how should you manage this by email, but just to have an idea. It's you define the type of activity and how frequent and the schedule for this.
Any interaction within the relationship was when you build the relationship with the customer, what kind of interaction you do it? You can call it activity or any kind of interaction. It could be invitation, event.
Yes, this is the types that you want to follow up with your client on, because those are activities. It's very important for every person on the CRM to see it. For example, when did you meet? When did you talk? And what did you talk about? What are the things that he requested? So gathering all this, it helps the company itself to be more like on the same page. Do you remember
and is it provided? Is it provided,
yes.
all these
In
details by
Pipedrive,
the CRM?
Yes, the CRM itself, it can provide you with all this information. If they weren't available, it wouldn't. One of the ideas when we started, I talked about operational, analytics, and collaborative. Pipedrive have those three. And I believe Microsoft Dynamics CRM have it too, on an advanced phase.
And you can also bring the business knowledge and the business know-how and the intelligence of the managers or the business owners, and to leverage up even more the CRM, right?
100%.
Some of the things are provided by the CRM, and also your own the business intelligence of the people can also be present in the CRM, right?
100%. The part of the operational CRM is how you follow up on your activity. The part of the analytical is the dashboard and the data that you get from every part that the sale is happening. And the collaborative is whenever either you want to share it with the whole company or you just want to share your information with yourself. That comes with the permission and the scale of the team that is working on the CRM or the people involved in.
You know, one of the most important part why they introduced the CRM, all the sales data or relationship with the customer used to be before with the salespeople, and they hide or they kept all this information as if it is for them. They consider like the customer, it is or he is or she is like their customer. So they kept all this information like as the ownership of this also relationship kept with the salespeople, until they found that this relationship is for the company. So you are having this potential to build a relationship with the customer because you are working for the company most of the time. Sometimes the salespeople, they bring customer with them. But this relationship between customers, for example, and SchoolUp, it is something that has to be owned by SchoolUp. So they introduced this solution to have all this relationship logged inside CRM. So whenever there is any new salespeople, they can assign or share or give him like hand over this relationship with the new salespeople. So they kept the same relationship, or they don't lose any of the history because of this CRM. So it was really powerful enough that whenever you have anybody joining, they will not start with the relationship from zero with the customer. They know already that this customer has already working with us for 10 years enough. He bought average revenue or sales on a monthly basis for the last 2 years. It was like this. They talk English. So you know all this specification customized. And
what's the preferred way of interacting with them? Email, phone?
It has big impact on the customer, honey. لأنه تخيل أنت when you go to a restaurant and first time they call you with your name, يعني hello أستاذ محمد تفضل, بتحس this is your restaurant because they only called your name and they know you already, and you feel yourself with your guest that you are the person that has this privilege. So the CRM will help you to treat all your customers like this, so you know ahead of time. They prefer
make it more personal, more personalized.
I think this
is sorry if I can share my perspective with you about CRM, because I think how it started. It's not about contacts or about because we can save contacts anywhere. I mean, in Outlook we can save contacts, on our phones we can save contacts. It's just about creating that personalized relationship between you and your client, between let's say a project owner and the project team, for example. Creating that relationship, that personalized relationship, because if another person, let's say, handles the account where some salesperson was handling it at the time, what happens is that he needs to know the history of this relationship. So what has happened before, what they have worked on, what stages they have went through, what maybe problems or issues was faced with this client. This type of information will create, if you're going for a first time meeting with this client and you have all this info in front of you, you are much more powerful and in front of the client you are more informed than somebody who doesn't really have this information. And CRM allowed us to do this, allowed us to capture this information by an activity, and even by date, and even by notes, and by time, and by changes, and and even like take it from another perspective. If say a customer service representative, for example, who gets a call, who is a call center, receives a call from a client about an issue. It's a new issue that hasn't been identified before. He can actually capture the how he solved this issue, and somebody else can use this before. So CRM is covered all of this from all bases. Sorry to interrupt everybody.
بالعكس,
To give
very
perspective.
valuable. We are talking from person who's work on sales and they use CRM, and person who sold CRM in the past, and I think I don't know if they are still. So all this interactions. ومارك انت حكيت عن ثلاثه هن الاوبريشنز
analytic والcollaborative.
while حتى بمايكروسوفت داينامكس يمكن مقسمينهم بمحل ما انتم the same بس انه على different model مثل customer service, marketing, sales, project, automation, field service. كمان رنا ابراهيم حطتنا اياهم على الشات. She's totally right. This is the part of CRM now. So can you talk with us more about this whole three pillar? What does this include or mainly focusing?
Yes. Whenever we're talking operational is about what kind of activity that Ghassan was talking now about. This is where all the information passes. One of the things that we miss in this is once the sale is finished, most of the companies think that the CRM usage is finished there. It has to continue to the customer service and the account executive that are following up with the client to continue those information. So from an operational perspective, this information has to be all recorded along the way. I always use an idea that if there is no data in, there is no data out. And whenever you don't have all this data, you're gonna hit the wall at some point. So it's very important to follow up on those info and put the data itself. The second part is the salespeople are doing their job and they're following up on everything that it's needed. From the analytical part, the managers have a responsibility to check this data on a daily basis or a weekly basis based on to see what is the target, if they're following up on target, if they're hitting their goals. And the third part is the collaborative is based on the permission, like part of the permission not to delete anything, but the second part of the collaborative is to share this information with the entire company or the entire sales team, and not only with some specific people. So those three parts has to be available in the CRM, or else it will not be effective. One of the points that other CRM use other companies or CRM system use it from an email marketing perspective. Like they tell you when you opt in, we need your name, your number, and your email. And that's the most information that they need. But it's more important to have all the information in. Like after you go on a call with the client, you have to follow up on the information and take it on. I hope I answered your question.
بس welcome to Baha وولي خوري. They already joined now. Sorry ما بنقدر ناخذ interaction in the middle. No they joining now because we already started. It's very interesting اللي كنت عم تقوله ماركو. This is I think it answers a little bit about the question اللي كنت عم تسأله لما إنه اليوم CRM it could be for a different purpose. It could be for different departments from different relationship. يعني it could be managing supplier operations. لأنه operations usually cover supplier, contractor, contacts. The advantage it is that you can create different workflow. You can have different for within the same contact. You can have contact type, and for each contact type have another workflow for the relationship, and you can use the CRM to maintain this non-regular activities with or relationship interaction with customer. And when the customer is not contact you anymore or not making sales, this is where you want a CRM to remind you, because you are not, when you handle 5 customers, إذا عنده واحد دكانة, it's easy. They know the customer. إذا كان مرض الصبح, they know them. لأنه حافظين إنه بيكون neighborhood. بس اليوم when I'm talking about online or talking about a mass number of customers, you know, it's you will not be able to remember that this customer didn't come and visited you last week, didn't buy from you since 2 months back. And this is the return of investment of CRM. And this is why always I tell them, the people, and awareness is very important. This is, I think, one of the most important sessions. And if the people, they know the importance and the power of CRM, and everybody will buy or will have a CRM for them. Anybody, everybody, because you need it for any type of business, even for your relationship as a human individuals, they need the CRM because you need to log, and you are doing it like a little bit about using the mobile. So yes, it is.
Based on this point that you said, people think that to have 100 contact, I'll put it in a CRM. It's actually important to start building the list from scratch, from the first day that you start. The first contact is always the most important. And in a later stage, you mentioned if you talk to him 1 month or 2 months after. What if you talk to him after a year? You wouldn't, no way, you wouldn't remember what happened from a year ago, or even from if another salesman talked with him, what happened from that time till now. So it's very important even to have like in the contacts, to have like a contacts timeline to know on each stage what happened.
Yeah.
Just something I noticed, Muhammad, إنه how important it is for us to manage our contacts even before building a business. It's you need to start, for example, categorizing your contacts even on your phone. If you have so many, even on our own phone, and this is, for example,
grouping.
Yes, because grouping and putting some data just to identify and separate and to be able to categorize people, and then from there you can, or else it's really messy.
And this is why I always say that ERP or CRM, they are not a solution. They are more into discipline, philosophy. They are a concept.
They need a lot of discipline.
It is the way is.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
I wanna highlight on this point, Muhammad, the mindset that when I started using the CRM, I changed two things. Always when I get to know a person and I need to take his number.
Hello. بعتقد صرنا مارك ولا أنا الكل.
Years I've been like having on this number and using my Gmail account for my contacts for almost, I guess, 10 years. And I always like saved on a cloud because I knew that would stay. When I arrived to a point and I wanted to sync my CRM with my phone, because for me, all the data that I know, all the people that I knew were on my phone. And having them gave me a full idea. Start what more, from which country you are, from what's the last note that you discussed, even the company and the position. LinkedIn alone is not useful to always check it, but having it on your CRM, it's easier to start a conversation. Like, I remember you were working here and now, and I see now on your LinkedIn that it changed. So it gives you more personalization, as you were saying, and easier conversation to continue.
Okay, dear, I just want to ask you here, how do we make the most of SRM? Actually, how could employee adapt to this new solution?
Okay, employee hate CRM.
Yeah,
I really mean it.
Users.
Yeah, the new users, like you get someone, I guess, like Lama, guys, we need to use an ERP or a CRM. Okay, is it useful? Yes, let's start with it. When you go to discuss it with the employee, they hate change, man. Adapting someone new to CRM, like we said, it's not just the mindset, it's the steps. And even this, I discovered it later stage because it started from my own experience. When I wanted to adapt the CRM, honestly, in 2016, it took me 4 months just to change the mindset that I don't want to put it anymore on Excel, and I wanted to put it on a system.
To make it a habit, yeah. I mean,
yes,
yeah.
that's the idea, Sinad. You're 100%. To make it a habit that don't open Excel, open CRM.
Yeah.
Mark, before the CRM, they hated Outlook. And I faced it. Outlook. Please, can you fill these 2 extra fields in the Outlook? Just information. We don't have time. It's messy. And like Rana was mentioning, it's really so many mistakes and so many duplications. And is this the right person or no? And please organize Outlook first. And this was even a struggle.
Yeah.
I found the solution for this. I'll tell you this hack, and it worked every time ever since then I started using it. Because whenever you're training someone, you have this change and they need to go into this pattern. I'm gonna share my screen. Sinar, do I have the sharing option? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna share this idea. Whenever you're adapting a change with the new, for them, it's always, do I need to go with the old way or the new way? And using the old same thinking is gonna get you the old same results, which is not effective anymore enough. So they go into this, and I passed through it in 2004. It took me 4 months, but later stage I will talk about the hack. But this is the stage that every company passed through, which is at first they're gonna go into shock, like a new system. No, we're already using something that like offline it's good. So they get into the denial, and it goes with fear and confusion. How much time do I need to learn it? What
the shock and denial
yeah. Then they go into arguing with their manager that they want to resist, like they want to defend what they already using just because they're afraid to learn something new. Then the third stage is they started to see it from another perspective, which is they understanding the benefit and how it's easier for them to use it. So they start experiment and they understand the meaning until the last stage. They go into this. One of the first 2 stages, how I got the managers to not only the managers. It started with the C level, with the owners, understanding that they need to use this. When they went to the employees, the hack was every time they tell you I have a meeting, just reply, do I have it on the CRM? If I don't have it on the CRM, then you don't have a meeting. I have a deal. Is it on the CRM? Every time. And this shrink the time either from a month or 2 months for them to adapt to literally 1 week, just for a change of words of how they see it. Because whenever the salesperson putting the data, you get the analytics, you get what's happening. So if the managers understand that, put it on the CRM, let me see it, I would understand that you have a meeting. And that's changed literally in 3 days with every company, that the top levels started to put this idea with their employee. If I need to see the information, I need to see it from the CRM. I don't want you to send me an email in it, and I don't want you to tell me what's happening. I want to see it.
Mark. True, because if you sell it to the owners and to the managers, and they're so on with you on it, it can really help with the employees. But the problem is when you're still struggling with the managers and with the owners, and who go back to their old ways.
That's why I start with the top level. Once they're into the idea and they understand why they're taking the CRM, I finalize the proposal and everything, and the sale is done. once they are in, I directly go for the training with the employee, because they're already, the managers here already have their 50%. The other 50% is from their employees, is not from them. So once they start taking this information, they make it their life purpose to understand more what's happening in their company from the CRM.
Yeah, and what's
So-
nice about CRM, and it doesn't take so long. I don't think it's like ERP. So you can show them
Yeah.
big results fast. That's the difference, I think, a major difference with ERP.
Whenever you
just-
see it, بس محمد ال CRM هي module from the CRP, from the ERP. But whenever you have a big company, you have to start with the ERP and then go into different stages. But whenever you have the opportunity to start from a CRM, then go to an ERP, it would be easier. Muhammad, I just want to add something. It's very important in this to have a user-friendly CRM. If it's not user-friendly, you will stop directly. And this that I showed you, the curve, it will take longer even while adapting, because they're not getting enough training and the follow-up from their managers.
Exactly. في شغلة, well, we talked about the sphere and the first curve. It is excellent, and this is usually very realistic. And the people usually, when they see somebody bringing CRM to their company or the management, and they don't know the outcome. Why they start thinking, did they want to monitor our activities? They want to take our data. I don't want to share this customer. I don't want to share my interaction. I don't want to let them know. So they start this mystery and talking. كلهم بيصيروا in their offices always talking. We used to hear this because as implementer they share with us sometimes this fear and this concern.
100%.
So it is very important that when we implement the CRM to have a proper objective in the beginning and to let the people see the outcome from the beginning. That we are adding for you 2 steps, but you will gain all this because of these 2 steps. It's like when you are used to go in the same road to your office, and suddenly they change the road. In the first 2 days, you will be very upset. And is it something that they close the road? But later on, when you see that it took less time to arrive to work, you will be more happy. And this is, I think, the CRM. The purpose is when they start feel and they touch. This is why they at the end of the curve, and usually it takes faster, as Mark said, because they reach the end faster. They start to feel this importance of their meeting. If they brought a lead and they enter the information of this business card, and the system remind them after 2 weeks that you didn't take any action, they usually miss this. So they will feel very happy to see this importance of CRM, to remind them about their duties and to see the numbers. It's all about numbers. And I think this is very important, the section of analytics. This is the first hour talking about CRM. It's going to take us a long time to talk about products and a lot of activity.
Yeah.
The numbers, Mark mentioned many times, goals, quota, number. The numbers talks now all over the world. Everybody's analyzing numbers. I think the best thing of CRM is it will give you all numbers you need about your customer. How many times he gets sales, how many times he interacts with you before you make the first sales, how many times he usually do sales with you, the amount of the sales they do, بيعمل مع one salesperson ولا لا, one location he bought لإله لعائلته. So it's really about numbers.
Yeah.
And numbers are the most important, even in our now bad situation with Corona or whatever economically. We need numbers. If we know we have proper numbers, we will get profit of it, right, Mark?
100%. Numbers are everything. Your data that you get from every sale, every person who's closing more, who's following up more, or going on a call more. So based on activity, which person is most effective. One of the things that helps in this, and you talk about it in one point, is, do you know the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? So having the end in mind that you mentioned is very important. The second part is being productive about it, like taking the initiative to do it. A lot of people that I know don't want to take an initiative. Even they are big companies that don't want to take the initiative. Starting from a solo
invest maybe.
not even they invest. At first, they see it as an expense. They don't see it as an investment for them. But once they start getting the data that you mentioned, yes, all change for them.
This is I think question, بس أنا I have a question for غسان بس لأنه حاب غسان can you are
معك أنا.
غسان سؤالي قديش ساعدتك or you know because I remember when we worked together you were using Dynamics CRM and even in your sales activity قديش Dynamics CRM or CRM it helped you to reach sometimes target or to work efficiently with sales يعني can you give us from your experience like life experience at this section it helped really helped ولا يعني كنت خايف you felt
لا اكيد it helped like بس في شغله كثير مهمه it all depends on the person that is using the CRM يعني you have to be an organized person you have to be an organized disciplined person لانه انت اذا يا اخي بلشت تحط داتا وتعمل اكتيفيتيز على السي ار ام وكذا وبعدين بلشت you start slacking a little bit عرفت كيف بتقول اوكي this is not important ما بدي احطها او this is I forgot to put it او this is it's not part of the deal عرفت كيف بتصير بعد فتره بتبطل تحط شيء
ترجع بتنزل
بعد فتره بتبطل عم تستعمل exactly so you have to build some kind of a habit some kind of كان عم يحكي شغلات مارك كتير مهمه يعني الواحد لما يفكر بالسي ار ام بفكر انا اوكي if I'm capturing a contact بصير افكر كيف السي ار ام captures the contact يعني what information do I need يمكن مش بس الموبايل phone his company phone لانه if I cannot reach him on his mobile I need to reach him on his company phone on his extension يعني what other email addresses does he يعني عرفت كيف important information about your client your CRM opens your mind to many things did it help me of course it did it did لانه اول شيء خليني اقول لك شغله المانجمنت عندنا بلبنان بعدهم ما بيطلعوا على الريبورتس الموجوده مع انه الموجودين بالسي ار ام والاي ار بي كثير شغلات مهمه يعني على طول الشركات اللي they were building CRM ركزوا على الاناليتكس بارت لانه هيدي this is what sells for top management يعني انا بقول لك التوب مانجمنت انا شو بيهمني اذا he's capturing data or he's not capturing data what is it in what's in it for me يعني لما تفرجيه على داشبوردز وتفرجيه انه انت يا خيي شوف الترندز اذا انت you want to make a decision you want to make informed decisions مش انت you want to make a decision based on الاحساس تبعك او شو عم بيصير لا make informed decisions based on real reports real numbers this is what it comes down to but to come back to your question sorry it did help me a lot but you need to be a disciplined person you need to be an organized person to capture this
it's very important صراحة طبعا أنا بدي مارك منك تعليقك على هذا الموضوع لأنه I think honestly this is the only failure topic اللي أنا I always worry about in CRM يعني it's about اليوم you start this excitement they start to fill data I want to reach this get usage of CRM بعدين I get so busy that I don't have time to log this I skip one log or I forgot to put this information or this one is very critical I don't want to put that I called this customer because he has or I don't want to show that I lost this opportunity now so they start to hide some information or to get so busy in life what is
the idea that you talked has 2 points. The first one, I have to go back to what I told you, is the idea as the manager itself has to follow up on a daily basis, the top management on a weekly, on a monthly basis. But the manager itself on a daily basis, so the employee don't lose this momentum that Ghassan talked about. They have to build this habit. So
يعني انت follow up sorry بس عم بقطعك بس follow up it could be a KPI انه نحن the number of visits
from
or
the
calls
KPI.
the number of calls or visits اللي بدي بحاسبك عليهم they must be I will read them from CRM so this is the follow up on a daily basis I want to see how many calls
he doesn't go to every user and see what he's doing he just check the dashboard and seeing what's changing between yesterday and today and tomorrow. Every day what's happening.
Daily KPIs monitored by the top management or management
100%.
of the team.
Sorry, Mark and Mohammed.
Yes.
Can I throw myself in again?
Yes.
But it's important. وهنا هوني Mark أنت كمان you can build on this point إذا بدك. When you're doing a CRM project, when you're implementing CRM, you train the certain, let's say, the sales team, and then you should have a champion behind that team who has all the information, who can train the people more on this. But it's important to get them trained. بس الشخص اللي wants to slack, he will come up with all different excuses for you. When you're asking him, did you log into this into CRM? Oh, well, I didn't have this information, or this information was not available in CRM for me to log it in. They will always come up with certain excuses. I'm not sure if you faced this, Mark, already.
Yes.
in your projects, but how did you handle such users? That because these people specifically, they can make a huge failure in a project if they succeed in their excuses.
This part that you talked about, usually a company, what's happening is I don't give them like the setup and the training and like I'll see you in a year time. For me is always like a 6 months contract for maintaining those points. They need someone, even the managers, they don't follow up enough. I give them a weekly meeting with them. So it even goes with the maintaining of, if they're going with the data, they're putting the data right. And second, if they're having any problems from this. But you have to always watch out, because if I don't have the trust of the main person, which is the top level management, you will have a problem with their employees,
or the project owner, could be somebody not in the top management, but somebody who's an influencer, for example.
Yes. One time one of those experiences happened with me. I was like going to train a company. They were like they supply supermarkets, so they have like a top salesperson, which was I'm closing. He's a good talkative person, and when we started for the CRM, he said, yeah, I already worked on a CRM. I told him, great, that would be amazing if you have a based information from before on this. When we started putting the data and the manager started following up, they saw that he's the most slacker person ever, because he wasn't putting his data, but he was like really good. Yeah, tomorrow everything will be closed. They knew the final point that he's like very close to his target, but he had a lot of slacking time, which could be effective. Like, as you said, Hassan, if he doesn't have this information, take the phone call the client for like 5 minutes, and you would have updated it. But he was slacking on this for a personal reason, like for personal gain. I'm not with the companies to break the mind of their employees, like to follow up on a daily basis, to be realistic when following up on the CRM. At least the employees, I'm gonna say it in Arabic, كتير بيتذاكوا. And especially on salespeople, because they think, and by the way, most of salespeople, and sometimes most of the strongest ones, they are not the most educated one, but they're very good with talking. And that's where the point, if they're aligned on putting those information, they can have a top level, having the bonuses given to them based on their data, and they'll be like the employee of the month if they want. Ghassan, I wanted to add one thing based on what you said before. Having this data doesn't finish at the sales part or the operational part. Marketing plays a big information in data here. Like in marketing, we use like pixels to know how many people went to a page. Having this data, taking it and putting it in remarketing, it will help a lot the companies. That's from one. Second, having a CRM to understand how many sales you did, that's for retail and like restaurants. Restaurants have very fast closing circle of sales. They don't go into the 5 stages, but it will help you to understand once you take this data and put it in the CRM, you understand.
Next time to talk about this
Actually,
analysis.
I thought he will be in the session. I wanted his input.
لا, we will have a lot of
The
session,
idea-
Mark, and it's a short time, تعرف, and I will not be able to cover all this. But can I just take Eli Khouri عنده مداخلة بس he want to share with us his experience, how it was the CRM was introduced in his wherever he was working negatively. So Eli, can you just I just unmuted your can you just أول شيء welcome, can you just share with us Eli?
Hi guys.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. I'm the friend of Mark, so Mark already introduces me to CRM. But I want to share a story. I'm talking as an executive coach, and I know behavioral change, how much it takes for a person to change his behavior. I used to work as a sales representative in a medical company. And when they introduced the CRM, it was as if they want to control us. This is the perception that we had. This is the impression that we had. So my story tells that everyone resisted it. It didn't work in our company because it was a tool for oppression. It wasn't a tool to work as a team. So this is a problem of leadership. This is a problem of how we introduce the CRM, I think. And like Ghassan said, it's about personalities. I have the personality of being a collaborator, visionary, not the type of organized person. So this also plays a role. So like you said, it needs a reward and versus punishment, and plus we need to introduce it as why would salesmen, how would salesmen benefit from this tool, so that they will get on board with the management, not just to be a tool for the upper management to know about the salesman, what they are doing. This is only I'm highlighting on someone.
Yeah, it's very, very important. The word is control. يعني اليوم this is they are afraid of having this impression from the beginning that they brought something to control us. Do we need a control, or is it like مثل اللي بيحطوا كاميرا فوقك بصير على الأوفيس؟ It's the first time you feel كتير بشع إنه جابوا شيء حطوها all time are they monitoring me or not? CRM is like this is the same control, right? You feel
yes.
كنت بدي أقول you remember when we spoke إنه ERP or CRM, it will uncover when you want to bring it in, it will uncover the culture in the company. So if there is a mistrust, if there are problems, it will all show up.
The CRM is bolder لأنه they consider the information are somehow confidential. This is why they use also the CRM terminology, owner, assign, share, because they know that this information it's like أمرا بقولوا له يمكن حميمي إنه أنا my relation with the customer is something really important to me that I don't want to share. Why I have to share? Why they want to get this information from me?
هاي part is sharing.
إيه share.
أنا عندي سؤال لإلي بس إلي, when was that when the CRM was introduced to your company? How long ago?
Like 2014 or 13.
You know, Muhammad, I have a theory that now I don't think it will be any problematic in terms of organization. But the sharing will always be a problematic thing. We are already putting all our information in. يعني ما بقى في حدا يقولنا إنه please حطوا ضروري to share all the details, all the contacts. We are already doing this through Facebook, through Google, through LinkedIn. We're doing this. People are in the mentality of sharing or organizing and having all this this connectivity. But the sharing of detailed information that will always remain problematic.
I have a theory also. Every CRM should be go hand in hand with training, coaching, because to
قلنا هذيك المره كمان last session يعني
to reduce the time.
in ERP, even in ERP they need coaches, they need somebody to keep اللي قالها مارك يعني مش لنزيد service
to bring out the fears.
Exactly.
There will always be fears. Things we're not talking about, things that are not on the table. You need to relieve all these issues before bringing something that would spot, put people on the spot. It's like you're putting cameras on everyone. Am I doing my job properly or not? It's to tell them it's not about you. It's بالعكس, it's about really showing off more of your work, putting more of your value out, and things like that.
في بهاء بس سوري بس انه بهاء عنده سؤال او مداخله كمان. تفضل. اهلا وسهلا.
Hi guys. Hi. ماشي الحمد لله. انت كيف؟ I have a question regarding the businesses that rely on like the sales department that rely on trainees more than full-time employees. وهول البزنسز كيف فينا نفرجيهم البنفيتس تبع السي ار ام especially انه في منهم they change trainees every 6 months or every year, and there's businesses that, for example, let me give an example. They organize an event each year, so the benefits would show each year. So the lifetime, the graph you showed, Mark, about how you integrate with the CRM in the company, this one should take a year to show the benefits of the CRM.
تخلص cycle.
تخلص cycle. ترجع تشوف. Plus بس تخلص السايكل هو different trainees. So انت فعليا ما حدا عم بيشوف البنفيتس غير الاداره. فكيف بدك تتعامل مع الترينيز؟ كيف بدك هل يا ترى هي صارت efficient انك تدرب الترينيز تدرب الترينيز كل ما يجوا لعندك تحط عليهم وقت معين؟ ما صار عندك انت صح انه عندك بنفيتس بس كمان صار عندك كوست وقت. كيف فيك تحل هيدي المشكله مع السي ار ام؟ قد ايه يعني بدك تعمله ماكسيموم يوزر فريندلي، او كيف الطريقه بدك تصير معك؟
في سؤالين مهمين هون. يمكن اول سؤال بدي بس اذكرك فيه لانه مهم، انه زي اليوم اذا if you have internship عندك people that they come and go or they are اذا بدك موسميين يعني they come in summer, do they have to use CRM? Who is allowed to use CRM? I think this is a question you can answer.
Exactly. Yes. محمد لا جاوب على سؤالك. محمد, the idea even if they are part-time and they are primary about sales or the operation part, they have to use the CRM.
They have relationship interaction, right?
Yes. Because they have to record this data that's happening during this period that they are available. And Baha, the one thing that we always follow up on with the company is to create a procedure and documentation for all this.
Exactly.
If you don't introduce procedure and documentation, if they change every year, either they have to call us for another training, and they will have to do it. What I do is I use two parts. One is either I introduced a web-based company that hosts all the videos and the training that we did, definitely for an extra cost if the company can afford. But what it's helped is that every employee can take those trainings, have an exam directly, and get certified internally in the system. That system I got to know when I went to Hurricane 2 years ago. A company called Don FYI. They have the system. They use it for FMB. All FMB companies in Lebanon use this. So when I knew about this, I started to introducing. Big companies use it for video basis to document if they don't want to write it. But from me, if they want to do it, that they want to do. Okay.
Okay, Mark. Actually, it's 1:03. I think it's the discussion might take another session. It's so interesting. Yes, we need to continue maybe session 2. Yeah, with more.
Sorry, can I just share something really quickly?
Sure.
But no, we're talking about the negative uses of CRM. I'm going to talk about a company that I worked for in my latest stages, not with Muhammad, but later stages, I worked with a company that used CRM for a specific situation only, and what they were doing is they asked the sales employees to log in the opportunities in CRM and take the opportunity number and put it on an invoice that was written by hand. So they still had it. They still were doing the sales orders by hand, but they were only taking the opportunity number from CRM and putting it on the sales order. That's not effective at all. That's not. It doesn't capture any information. It doesn't help anything. It's just. I just wanted to give this feedback, but it was interesting because I mean, what's the point of using CRM for something that's so ineffective, you know? Just entering an opportunity, taking an opportunity number and put it on a sales order. That's it. So
I think you highlight a point that we are going to start with next time. It's very important to have the CRM to have a proper objective from the beginning. For each role, it's a different objective. And top management, they need to see numbers, analytical information. يمكن الشخص اللي بيجي once telecall or something for a short period كمان أو internship, they have another objective. Sales people, they want to maintain the relationship with the customer properly. The purchaser, they have different. So they have to put like objective وتكون realistic objective لأنه أبشع شيء عند اليوزر تيجي تقول له you will have the CRM, it will make your life easier while it make it more complicated. So you have to put objective and to make it happen for each role so he can see the benefits quickly also. If it will take time, he will lose also importance. الكلام ما بيخلص يعني talks are very 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 important in CRM and this especially in this. So I think we are going to cover this section in more details next time, is the importance of CRM for each different type of roles and how we apply this in the workflow and the follow-up and the coaching that you propose بين لما.
Definitely, and that's why CRM had role-based pages. So
I think we have to prepare something for the next session where we can share how we can make it like a plan for the people that will attend or the companies, how they can set an objective for example of role and how they can make benefits of this monitoring, coaching, whatever the service that you suggested. But I feel it's very important, and I think this session it starts something that we can roll it out for the coming session. We can also have Bassam to introduce with us this analytical section. ما بعرف سينار أخذنا الوقت كتير. So عندك شيء بدك تختمي فيه أو من قبل ما ناخد.
Actually, I have a lot of questions we didn't cover with this session. We will surely cover maybe next section. Yes. Actually, I would like to thank you all.
شكر رنا كتير على all the comments والنقاط that she really shared. On the chat, she had a very strong contribution on share. Hi Rana. Thank you.
أنا سوري ما قطعتكم يعني فضلت إنه اسمع مارك منيح.
Thanks.
خاصة أنا بشتغل على غير product, so إن شاء الله next time
next time we will make sure to be in contact with you also ahead of time. Maybe we can have certain preparation with you to have better contribution. Your contribution today was really effective, and I was reading all time your comments, and it showed that you have experience. Thanks for. We hope that this 1 hour was effective للكل وما ضيع.
Thank you.
Personally, I really learned much صراحة from this session. Thanks, Mark, for being this special.
Thank you for having me.
Lama, thank you for your the multiple experience that you are sharing with us for contribution, and we from now on نحن تعودنا عليك. We want to see you in every session. لي كمان welcome غسان like always. بهاء أهلا وسهلا فيك. First time I see you, but we hope also ونجا ورنا. Thank you much again. David.
Thank you, Elton. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
It was very beneficial.
You too.
Have a good day, all of you.
See you next session.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
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 Thanks.